go to bitcoincashpodcast.com/stats. I have a page where I've linked to a couple of other people in the BCH scene. There's the Pan Money team, BitPay, and Cash2VN.com that publish stats about their cryptocurrency usage. And I've been publishing some of the podcast stats there, the YouTube views, and also the RSS, the podcast download. So if anybody's curious how many people watch this show, well, you can check that out and find out. And so now I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to add Google Analytics stats for the actual Bitcoin Cash podcast site. And the reason that I want to do this is so that the community and the scene can have some idea of if we're growing or not, right? Because the price, while we look at it every week and whatever, and the transactions and so on, all that stuff is not, it's kind of only part of the picture, right? And Bitcoin Cash typically does terribly on price compared to all the other like coins that are getting hyped up, flavor of the week or whatever, right? So it's harder to get to the bottom of, is there actual real sustainable growth happening in our scene? And so I'm hoping that if there's more views on the podcast website, well, that would indicate more interest in this podcast, which indicates pretty strongly, I would say, more interest in Bitcoin Cash, because that's literally the only thing that it's about, and that's entirely how it's branded. So we'll see what the results of that are going to be. It's going to need to be a few weeks to see what the baseline is. I have no idea how many people have been checking out my site or not, or if it's well optimized or whatever, but hopefully that can be a bit of a talking point going forward to find out whether the scene's growing, and also to inform me, what gets measured gets managed, right? So if the views are low, or if I release a new music video or do, more regular episodes or whatever, we'll be able to see if it's having an effect, and hopefully optimize to get more and more of the world looking at this website. And so any dedicated listeners of the show as well, to definitely write in if you've had a bit of a look at it and what you think needs upgrading and improving. I have a lot of ideas, but one thing I've been working quite seriously on has been the FAQs part of the site, and it's now actually in several categories, and there's quite a decent amount of information there, and there's a lot more FAQs that I want to write as well. But I hopefully can build up just a big, like a Wikipedia type scenario where all the information that somebody needs about Bitcoin Cash is there, in the sense that all the questions that your friends and family and whatever have over and over and over and over again, things that I've answered hundreds of times to different people on Reddit or in person, that it's just all there. So if somebody is asking you, like, what about Bitcoin Cash, what about this, what about that, what about regulations, what about other coins, blah blah blah, you can just link them to that and say, look, check this out. Here is everything you could ever possibly want to know, every question answered.